Evening greetings, one and all. William Theo here, homegrown and happy to bring you PTV News Now. And topping our news stories tonight, the 35 peso hike in the daily minimum wage in the NCR approved yesterday by the Regional Tripartite Wage and Productivity Board for the National Capital Region is not yet set in stone. The wage hike amount set to officially apply or go in effect on July 11 is still open to appeal from both the labor and employers or business owners sectors. Department of Labor and Employment Chief Bienvenido Leguesma indicated in an interview earlier today. Labor groups like the Ibon Foundation, who contend for a 120 daily hike, called yesterday's hike amount insulting, while employers group ECOP, as always, lamented the Tripartite Wage and Productivity Board's move and called it untimely. In other news, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken stressed President Joe Biden's proposed end to the war in Gaza is still within reach, but only if the rebuilding, rehab, and reconstruction of Gaza from the rubble is on the table. VOA's Veronica Valderas Iglesias has the full report.
As Israeli troops continue deepening their incursions in Gaza in search of militants, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced Monday that Hamas's military capabilities have almost been eliminated.
We are advancing to the end of the phase of eliminating the terrorist army of Hamas, and there will be a continuation to strike its remnants.
The announcement was made as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, in an interview at the Brookings Institution in Washington, called on Hamas's leadership to accept a phased peace proposal currently on the table.
I think the proposal that President Biden put forward is achievable, and it would be the best way forward, the quickest way to end the conflict in Gaza, to stop the violence, to massively surge assistance, to get everyone home, including American hostages.
As the secretary spoke, the voices of protesters gathered outside the Brookings Institution could also be heard. Blinken, who didn't acknowledge them, stressed that the Israel-Hamas conflict cannot end with a vacuum in Gaza.
It has to end in a way that makes sure that there are clear, coherent, achievable plans for Gaza's governance, for its security, and of course, to start to help people to rebuild their lives that have been so decimated and destroyed.
One of the Palestinians whose life has radically changed and wants accountability is Dr. Mohammed Abu Salmeya. The director of Al-Shifa Hospital was released early Monday after being in Israeli custody since November.
We were subjected to severe torture, and my little finger was broken. I was repeatedly subjected to hitting on the head, causing bleeding multiple times. There was almost daily torture in the Israeli prisons.
The Israeli Prison Service told the Washington Post that it was not aware of the torture claims. It said prisoners have the right to file complaints that will be fully examined. Israeli troops raided Al-Shifa Hospital last year, alleging Hamas militants were using the site as a command center. Hospital officials denied the allegations. Abu Salmeya was released alongside some 50 Palestinians who were returned to Gaza for medical treatment. Veronica Valderas Iglesias, VOA News.
And we've come to the end of our program. Join us anew tomorrow for another set of late-breaking stories here and abroad. Stay informed by catching the news right here. William Theo wishing you all a cooler and more restful night ahead.